Yeah, good morning. Oh, I had a plan on coming out. I'm looking for the spring flowers, and there's not that many spring flowers out here at the moment. Oh, this is one of the best places in Northwest Indiana for Trillium. And right now the Trillium, they haven't bloomed yet. So what I am out here, I guess, we got sunrise coming up. Got about 20 minutes before sunrise. So instead of looking for a big field of Trillium, which is usually out here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and use my inner Simon Booth. I'm gonna try and look small. Look at the ground, trying to find interesting, maybe where one or two flowers have bloomed, maybe where a little cluster of them have bloomed, something interesting, and still make the best of what I got. So if you haven't watched his channel, I suggest you watch his channel. He's got one of the best channels that I've seen as far as woodland photography, between him and Simon Baxter. But Simon Booth goes into detail on the intricate, the small scenes inside the woodland. So hopefully none of my photos are going to be as good as his, trust me. But hopefully I can do it some kind of justice for the things that I have learned. So I'm going to take a walk around here and see what I can find. I'll be back with you in a couple minutes. All right, so you can see I got this branch coming through. I got these green kind of surrounding the branch, and I got this moss on top of the branch with these dead leaves kind of surrounding it. But I got that going from corner to corner, just trying to emphasize this part in the center with all the white and a little bit of the flowers. There's not many flowers in there, but like I said, trying my best. So I'm gonna pick out some smaller scenes and see what I can find, and try to at least do Simon Booth some justice, I guess. But I got the Sigma 100 to 400 on there, and the problem I'm having is that it's actually got a 3 foot. It's like 3 foot focusing, minimum focus distance. So I don't know, having a hard time, so I have to raise the tripod up really high. So what I might do, I might actually switch over to the 24 to 70 and get a little closer and see if I can come up with something like that. But I'm gonna walk around a little bit more. Just kind of wanted to run you through what I'm thinking. I'll put this picture up right now. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll find another scene, see what's going on. I'll see you in a second. All right, so I got another one. Again, I'm still focusing just on the smaller details. I'll show you what I got on the back of the camera real quick. All right, so that's what I'm looking at. I said it's kind of hard to get the angle right on this, but I got this log coming through. I got these flowers surrounding it, and this log's got like a hole in it. It's kind of a rotted piece of log, but it looks good on the back of the camera. I focus stacked it. I focus stacked the other one, even though I'm at f/16, because of the distance and how far I'm in. This has got to be focus stacked. 2.5 seconds, ISO 64. There is no wind at all. So there's no wind. so I can go with a little bit longer shutter speed. But I'm actually thinking I'm going to reshoot this right now because the light is actually penetrating over the horizon and it's starting to stream through the woodland. I'll flip you around and let you see. You see the light streaming through, sunrise coming through. So I'm going to reshoot this real quick because I got a little bit of light. I'll show you on the subject itself. I got a little bit of light lighting up sections of it. So we'll reshoot this real quick, and then I'm going to move to another spot, and I'll see you in a couple seconds. All right, as you can see over my shoulder here, that sun is really starting to cook. So, I said, it still looks cool. So now what I'm doing, I got really low to the ground. I'll flip you around and see. I got really low to the ground. I'm probably only a foot off the ground, foot and a half off the ground. And what I'm doing, I'm looking across the field where the light's coming in. All this light that's streaming in over the top, it's hitting these flowers over, and there's got this little cluster right here. So I kind of zoomed in a little bit, and I darkened the screen to emphasize what is lit up. So I'll pull up on the back of the screen real quick and let you see. So you can see these little bit of flowers that are lit up. All these little things that are lit up, I darkened the rest of the scene. That you can see I underexposed by 2 stops. So it's 1/4 of a second, f/16 still, ISO 64. I'm out at 400 millimeters. So f/16, even though it's FR, as soon as I hit the flower, everything else behind it is blurred out. So sometimes, you know, if you're new to photography or something, just know that the f-stop, yes, it creates depth inside your scene, but it also depends on your focal length and the lens you're using. You kind of got to get used to what your lens does and what focal length, how far you need to be for distance. You can look a lot of this stuff up online. It's going to be specific to your camera, your lens. But what I got a Nikon Z7 100 to 400. I'm out at 400 millimeters. I didn't struggle, but it was hard to get it to where it was dialed in for focus on that one specific flower that I wanted. So with everything else lit up, I don't know, have fun with it, play with it. So I got that shot. I'll put that up. I'm gonna keep walking through the woodland. I got quite a ways to go. I'm kind of really liking all these shadows coming through. I'm not sure. Because there's no foliage yet, there's still some houses in the background. This cuts through the middle of a neighborhood. So I'm gonna look for some more smaller scenes. I don't want to do Simon Booth wrong. So I'm gonna still look for some smaller scenes and see if I can find little clusters of flowers, something that stands up above on the forest floor itself. And I'll be back with you as soon as I find something else. I'm a little farther down the trail. I haven't gone a half a mile. It's been kind of a short hike. So what Simon usually does is try to find like a triple, like something that tells the story of the woodland in 3 different photos, like a triptych. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to connect all the pictures together into more of a story instead of just coming out and taking photos of something. So nothing wrong with that. I mean, sometimes where you're going, it's a one-off. But I'm trying to tell a little bit more of the story and trying to get 3 things that'll work together inside the woodland. So utilizing the trillium that isn't bloomed yet, and dead logs or moss or things like that, trying to get 3 photos that'll work together. So I think I got one more. I'll put you, well, I can't really put you on the back of the camera yet. What I'm going to do, instead of putting you on the back of the camera, because I know we're going to struggle because of the sunlight coming through, I'm going to show you what I'm looking at, and then I'm going to bring the camera back up, and then I'll put you on the back of the camera and let you see what I took. And I did actually focus stack this. I focused, I think the last 2 or 3 photos, I've taken like 10 photos just to get depth throughout, and I might only use 1, you know, we'll see. But I'll flip you around. So this is kind of what I'm looking at here. I got this one single trillium flower coming up inside all this moss, and it's got this light shining on it, really brighten it up. So what I did is I actually used the light to my advantage, and I set the exposure to the light, which actually darkens everything else around it, almost not completely blacked out, but really dark in shadow, and only emphasizes the light that's in the piece or in the scene. So the scene is kind of set up like that, but what I'll do, I'll actually I'll bring the camera up, I'll put you on the back, and I'll let you kind of see what I'm talking about. All right, so that's basically what I was looking at. As I said, everything is dark around the scene, and the light is emphasized. It didn't completely, you know, put everything super dark, but you can emphasize the shadows to kind of bring the light out. And yeah, we'll see how it works out. Like I said, I did it was like 10 shots, 8 or 10 shots. So we'll see what happens. But I'm gonna move along a little bit, see if I can find maybe another subject to photograph before I get out of here. I know there's more, I just gotta find it, and looking for those little details. Well, we'll see what I can come up with. I think I can do better than that. I think I can do better than that photo, but we'll see. So I'll see you in a couple minutes. I found another scene over here. Kind of waiting for the light to hit it. I got a couple shots with it. Not sure if it's in focus, so I kind of want to wait for the light to come back and shine right on it. The sun, as it's rising, it's going in between trees, so I'm getting some shadow on it. I'll flip you around, kind of let you see what I'm sort of looking at. So you see the stump right here. Right next to it, there's a little cluster of flowers. There's one that in particular right next to it that stands up on this side, and then there's like a couple other ones. I'll show you on the back of the camera real quick. That's kind of what I'm looking at. I got this one flower, and then I got this little cluster of flowers, and then there is this stump and this other one coming down and the light shining on. So when the light hits that, which I got a couple shots with it on there. Let me see. Let's see. You can see the difference when the light shining on there, how that kind of stands out. But not sure if that's 100% in focus. I just want to make sure before I leave out of here, since the camera's already set up in that position. But in the meantime, I wanted to show you this real quick, which I find pretty interesting. This area, there was a lot of Native Americans that lived in this area. So one of the things they used to do, they used to take and mark with trees and bend them to point towards either food sources or hunting ground or maybe territory or places of water. And there's a stream that runs down back over here behind me. But what they used to do is they'd take the trees, and they purposely grow them or bend them like this, break them and let them regrow so it would point towards the water source. Oh, I thought that was pretty interesting. You'll run into that a lot up here, and I'm sure in any other area that had Native Americans that lived in it or had tribes that lived in that area. So just something interesting. You see the light's starting to come back now. Light's starting to come back now a little bit. So it's about to touch that. So I'm gonna make sure I'm set up, make sure everything's dialed in, wait for that light to hit, and then take that shot. I'll put it up, and let me know what you think about it in the comments. And if you have any other information, like about those bent trees and in the forest and stuff like that, or I know I'm not 100% wrong, but if there's either more information or anything else that you want to add to that, put them in the comments. All right. Let me know what you think about this picture. Thank you. All right, so I got one last shot here. I might search around for a couple more, but for the sake of the video, this will be the last shot that I actually show you, and then I'll just put the rest of the photos up. I wanted to ask you, this is gonna come out here originally for like Trillium. This is one of the best Trillium places, but they're not ready yet. This is what they look like. So probably another week, maybe another few days. So instead, wrapping up, going home, I just adapted and tried to shoot more intimate scenes with other flowers that are popping up. There's other spring flowers out here. So, I don't know, would you consider that a failure? I don't know if I would. I had a good time, hiked around a little bit. If anything, I got some compositions ready, so if I get conditions like this again with Trillium when I come back out here, so we'll be back out here to try and get it. I kind of know where to go. I already have an idea. Now, I've been out here multiple times, but you know, as the light and the time of year and where it's coming up, it changes every day, it changes every season. So, I don't know, let me know what your thoughts are. But I'll show you what I got right now. What caught my attention was this tree right here with these flowers surrounding around it. I'll show you in the back of the camera so it'll be easier. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. See if I can point that down to get the sky out of it. That's kind of what I'm looking at. I darkened it down quite a bit, almost 2 stops, because I'm only focusing on the light and the flowers in the front. And you can see the tree coming down and then the flowers surrounding it. So if I brighten it up, you can see kind of what it looks like. You got the tree behind there, focusing in on the flowers in the front. I got the foreground blurred out with all the grasses. Got the camera kind of low to the ground, probably about a foot off the ground. So my idea was, I did focus stack this, but my idea was to emphasize the light and emphasize the darkness behind it and the light raising in the morning. But I don't know, we'll see. I took about 6 or 7 shots just to go all the way through the entire scene, and with the light shining in, I think it looks pretty cool. But as I say, I'm gonna roam around a little bit more before I head to the car, car's not far away, and see if I can find anything else. And all the other photos that I put up, I'll put up at the end like usual. And I'll be back out here in a week or two, try to catch this Trillium before it goes away. But I appreciate you coming along. Let me know your thoughts about if you would consider this a failure. Let me know your thoughts about the tree in the back, the one that's bent that the Native Americans used to point people in directions, or different tribes that were coming in, or their own tribe. And let me know your thoughts about the photos. Thank you for coming along, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.